Hello dear viewers, a very warm welcome to our channel. It's very good to have you here. In this video we are going to have a look at top symptoms of a failing or bad differential. A bad differential can cause various symptoms that affect your vehicle's handling, performance and safety. The differential is very responsible for transferring power from the drive shaft to the wheels while allowing them to rotate at different speed, especially when the vehicle is turning. As you can see, power from the engine, from the transmission will be supplied to the differential through the propeller shaft. Then the differential will split that power to the left and to the right wheel. So the differential will transmit power, it will change direction of power flow, it will multiply torque, and it will allow difference in speed between the left and right wheel. For example, when the vehicle is cornering, the left and the right wheel, the outer and the inner wheel are driven at different speed. That is allowed by the use of the differential. When it fails, you may notice some of the following symptoms. Well, the number one symptom of a failing differential is noise. Whining noise or howling noise coming from the differential. When the differential goes bad, a loud whining or howling noise or grinding noise would be heard while you are driving. When there is something wrong in here, it will generate a noticeable noise, especially during acceleration or deceleration. This often indicates worn out bearings. As you can see, the differential is supported by bearings. There are bearings below here, and there is also bearing on the other side. The differential will be supported by those bearings. If there is a wear on those bearings, that will generate noise. So bearing inside the differential, when they degrade and when they wear out, they will generate a very characteristic noise. And the pitch may be different. The pitch of the noise that you are going to hear varies depending on the speed. So if you hear a noise coming from the differential, that could be an indication of a failing differential. In some cases, you could even hear some kind of clanking or knocking sound. A clanking noise when shifting gears or accelerating or decelerating suggests excessive play in the differential gear, or it may also suggest worn out universal joints. There are universal joints bringing power to the differential. As you can see, there is a universal joint that is bringing power to the differential. If there is excessive clearance, between this pinion and the ring gear, you might hear a knocking sound when accelerating or when decelerating. When there is too much backlash, when there is too much clearance between those two, that will generate a clanking noise or knocking sound. This may also indicate loose or damaged ring and pinion gears. If there is a problem with the ring gear or if there is a problem with the pinion gear, that could also generate a loud knocking sound or clanking sound. Vibration during acceleration is another symptom of a failing differential. If the differential is failing, excessive vibration will be felt through the floorboard or through the vehicle seat when accelerating. This can mean worn out differential mounts, or it may suggest damaged drive shaft or some kind of misalignment in the differential. So, excessive vibration during acceleration can also be indicative of a failing differential. If you happen to have difficulty steering your vehicle, when the vehicle is steering, a failing differential can cause stiff steering. That can also be indicative of a failing differential, especially when you are turning around corners due to improper power distribution between wheels. When the differential is going bad, you may have difficulty handling the vehicle during steering. So if you lately happen to notice that there is a difficulty in handling the vehicle while turning, while steering, that could indicate a damaged differential. Uneven tire wear is another symptom of a differential going bad. When the differential starts going bad, differential will stop evenly distributing power. One tire may wear out faster than the other. So uneven tire wear also suggests a failing differential. So look for unusual tread patterns on your tire. If you happen to notice feathering or cupping on rear tires, that could indicate a failing differential. Another symptom of a failing differential is oil leak from the differential. You see, there are oils. There is oil that is going to lubricate the ring gear, the pinion gears, the side gears. All these gears, they need lubrication, and that is done by the differential fluid. Now, if there is oil leak from the differential, if there is a visible fluid leak under the rear axle, it suggests bad differential seal or gasket. Low fluid level inside the differential can cause differential overheating, and it can cause accelerated differential wear. So if you notice there is an oil leak around the differential, that is a sign of trouble. Another symptom of a bad differential is burning smell from the differential. If there is some kind of overheating inside the differential due to lack of lubrication or due to excessive loading, that will cause oil smell to be generated. So this excessive friction between metal components inside the differential can generate a very characteristic burning smell. So if you notice burning smell coming from the differential side, that will also suggest a failing differential. Grinding or growling noise coming from the differential while cornering is also another symptom, especially when you are making sharp turns. It may indicate a failing limited slip differential if it is a limited slip differential type. And in some cases, a slipping or loss of power at the wheels can also suggest a failing differential. As we have said earlier, the differential is responsible for supplying power from the propeller shaft right there. And the differential will split power to the left and right wheel. If there is a problem with the power distribution, it suggests that severely damaged differential. If there is a severely damaged differential, it may fail to transfer power properly. This will cause the wheel to spin or lose traction. Especially in four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive vehicle, this may affect multiple wheels. If you happen to find metal shavings inside the differential when replacing differential fluid, that is also a sign of trouble. It indicates internal wear. It could be a result of excessively worn out gears, or it could be a result of excessively worn out bearing or clutch packs if it is a limited slip differential type. A magnetic drain plug can collect these shavings, and if you find metal shavings, it is also indicative of a failing differential. Excessive heat build-up inside the differential. When the differential overheats, that is also a sign of trouble. This is often as a result of low differential fluid or excessive loading or wrong oil type inside the differential. All this can cause the housing to become very hot to the touch. So touch the housing, and if you feel it hot, this can lead to warping of the gears or bearing failure. So differential overheating is another symptom of a sign of trouble. In some cases, the differential may lock up. A lock-up differential can also be indicative of a trouble. Completely seized differential prevents wheel from rotating independently. This will make turning very difficult. This is a severe failure that requires differential removal or disassembly. So it requires immediate repair. If you happen to notice that the differential is seized somehow, you have to have it get repaired as soon as possible. In some instances, a failing differential can also trigger a check engine light. Some modern vehicles have a differential sensor that trigger a warning light if there is an issue with the differential. So if that warning light is triggered, for example, if there is overheating, if there is loss of differential fluid, that might be turning on the check engine light. A generic check engine light may also appear with related codes. And finally, excessive play inside the drivetrain component is also indicative of a failing differential. When you try to rock the propeller shaft, if it is playing excessively, and if you happen to notice that you are feeling slope or delay when shifting from drive to reverse or from reverse to drive, it could mean excessive backlash inside the differential. If there is excessive backlash inside the differential, see that joint, the pinion and the ring gear will have poor contact. That will cause the differential to fail. So if there is excessive gap between those two, that is also indicative of a failing differential. So if you notice any of these symptoms, there are some things you have to do. Always make sure that the differential have enough and correct fluid. So check differential fluid level and condition. Listen for any unusual sound coming from the differential. Inspect for leaks if there are visible leaks around the differential housing. Avoid aggressive driving in order to prolong the service life of your differential. And if there is persistent problem, then the differential has to be removed and inspected. Ignoring differential problems can lead to catastrophic failure, leaving your vehicle undrivable. So early diagnosis and repair can save costly damage of the drivetrain and excessive costly repair of the differential. So if you happen to notice any of the above mentioned symptoms, then it is time to have your differential inspected and repaired as soon as possible. Well, dear viewers, that is all we have for you regarding some of the top symptoms of a failing differential. If you find this video helpful and if you like what has been presented, please smash the like button. If you are new to this channel, do consider subscribing, turn on notifications so that you will be the first to get notified whenever we come up with another video. Until then, stay safe.